Hey folks, today we're going to do a review of Sifu's photo mode. I didn't realize Sifu had a photo mode when I saw it come out. Thought it was sort of an interesting game, and so this seemed like a perfect opportunity to do photo mode and have some fighting fun. So the first thing to bring up is how to get into photo mode. You can access photo mode by pressing the down D-pad button on the controller, or tab on the keyboard. It's a bit hidden in the controls, but it is listed in there, tab on the keyboard. You can do it in combat. You can even do it in finishing moves. I've tested that out. There are some particle effects that don't seem to show up in photo mode. We did get this one right here, but some of the, like the wind on the fans, I haven't seen in photo mode, so keep that in mind. What do we have here? We have photo settings, character settings, camera settings. I don't want to mess with the character settings yet because we're in like a good pose. I sort of like this pose. You can have the overlays, which I like. You've got the dot, which is the center. Very good. You've got the cross. I personally like that one a lot. The thirds lines. Zoom in, zoom out, we can do. There's even a rotate, and the rotate has this cool little slider, which I like a lot. I think I sort of want this photo rotated a bit since we're doing like a hit to the face. Maybe we line it up with her, something like that. Lighting could be better, I think. And we got a fan up in the top right that sort of artifacted out. That's weird. Wonder why that happened. Huh. I can't seem to get rid of it. Okay, well, something to be aware of. Camera fading. Oh, okay. So that's why the... Oh no, that's fading for the in-game camera. Okay. So we probably want that off like most of the time. Okay, so camera fading is causing the fan to fade out, and I think that camera fading is for like things getting in the way of the camera's action in game, so we're gonna turn that off. I think that's probably something we should just always have turned off, if I'm right about that. I haven't tested that one too much. Focus mode, manual, target. Manual lets us set the focus distance. We definitely do want both of us in view. I'm gonna turn the aperture down. The game is using aperture instead of like depth of field width, which a lot of games will do. If you're not familiar with aperture, the smaller the number, the smaller the depth of field. In the real world, the f-stop is the size of the aperture of the camera, so how big the hole letting light in is. In video games, it basically only corresponds to the depth of field, so like how much area is going to be blurred out in the background and foreground. And how thin is the area that's going to be in focus. So here you can see when we turn it down, more stuff gets blurred out because the area that's in focus is only 0.5 meters away from us, so everything behind that is getting blurred out because the area that's in focus is thinner. So smaller number, thinner area in focus, and we can move where the focus is, not the width of the focus, but the distance from us further out. 0.7 is about where we are. And I'm noticing when I'm taking photos that it doesn't blur out the front. Depth of field really only seems to affect things behind where you focus, which is a bit weird. They have like an autofocus thing. Huh. Doesn't work super well. Like if I autofocus on a character, it picks the background or like further back. That's weird. In this photo, I want the aperture to be as small as possible because I want basically only the characters to be in focus since they're the subject. 0.8 seems about right. Target puts me in focus, but the foreground is out of focus now. It's odd. Player, AI. Yeah, it's weird that the foreground is now out of focus. When in manual mode, I literally can't get the foreground out of focus. Like even if I go all the way back. Okay, the foreground does start to go out of focus when I focus way, way in the back. I don't want to do that. I'd rather have the foreground in focus for this shot. So those are the camera settings. All the depth of field settings seem pretty good, seem pretty standard for a complete photo mode, so that is good. Then we go to photo settings, and these are like your filters and things like that. There's fog, which I think is excellent. I love having fog sliders. Fog is great for adding depth to your photograph. Exposure, we're fully exposed. Okay. Grain intensity, I will put a little film grain on it. I don't know why I can't add more exposure. Vintage, too dark. Vibrant, no. So these are like your filters. None seems good because I can't increase my exposure, unfortunately. Oh, I think these stars mean they're changed, right? Yeah. Vignette, nice thing to have. I don't think we want a heavy vignette on this one. Aspect ratio is frames, which is nice that they call it like aspect ratio rather than just like blocking frames. I like that a lot. Logo, you want a logo. No stickers or anything. And then when you come in here, you can actually make presets. So if you set the preset, it wipes everything, which actually for exposure is what we want. You can come down here and click save preset. You can switch to presets. The star means you have unsaved changes, I think. It's moved, so we can do this and check between the two presets to see what we like. So that's how you use presets. I personally don't use presets a lot, but they can be nice. Next, we have character settings. The last thing I want to try, let me take a photo real quick before I mess up my characters. Taking a photo is with the start button. You can remove the UI by pressing L. Ta-da. Character settings. Hide everyone. You can hide just the character, just the AI. Character pose, gameplay, idle. So a good number of poses. I think gameplay, probably mostly what you want. And rotate, which is good. Not a ton of selection here, but they have the basics that you need, rotation and character poses, and then hiding actors. Those are the main things you want. There aren't really weapons or any, well, there are weapons. So maybe it would be nice to have like weapon selection and things like that, but eh. And I think that's sort of the overall feel I get from this photo mode in general. It's very reasonable. It's definitely good. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It has everything you'd really want from a photo mode. The depth of field setting is really nice. The fact that there's fog and color grading and all that sort of stuff is good. The game itself looks really great. The lighting and color schemes are really nice. There's a few scenes where I go, ooh, that looks nice. And so I think there's a lot of area there. You can enter the photo mode pretty much at any time, which I think is really important for like a fighting game where you need to like pause the combat and actually go into photo mode. So that's cool. I personally like the way they do aperture with the f-stops, but if you're not used to that, that could be something to get used to. So yeah, overall, really good photo mode. The only complaint is that it doesn't do anything amazingly well. Like, it's really good. It hits all the things that it needed to do to make a really good photo mode. Just doesn't push any boundaries. All this stuff is available in most of your other games, like Riders Republic, Forza Horizon, Far Cry, things like that. That's pretty stock photo mode for like a big budget AAA game. And I'm under the impression that this is not like a big budget AAA game, so still very good. I'm happy with it. I'm going to keep playing through this game and keep messing around with it. And I probably will do another video on this game, honestly. I've been enjoying what I've been playing so far, and I think the photo opportunities here are really strong, especially with the artistic design that the game has gone with. So expect more of this in the future, and I'll see you later. The screenshots is in the user app data folder in Windows. This is a hidden folder, so you might have to input it manually into the URL, URI bar up at the top of the file editor. But you can do that, and then there should be a folder in local called Sifu. The screenshots are saved next to the save games. So if you ever need to look that up, you can just look up like where the save games are saved for Sifu, and the screenshots should have a screenshot folder right next to that. But I will have that linked in the description below if you need to reference it.